Hey there everyone, Film Dude here. Going to be talking about the summer anime season. And there's just so many animes to talk about, like literally too many for me to follow. Too many sequels, too many isekais, too many things. So if I'm missing anything that you really enjoy and you think I might enjoy it, please leave it in the comments. But this is all the stuff that I'm watching, that I'm really interested in, and I think that a lot of people should catch up if they're not going to check it out. And yeah, I'm going to start with a lot of the sequels that I'm going to be following. And the first one that I'm really excited about is Clevis 2. I think that the first season was pretty good. It did have issues with certain animation parts, certain storytelling beats, but the overall characters and action, the world building elements, the magic systems, it all attracted me, and I got really invested in it. And I really liked the way it ended. I thought that was a really interesting way to end it, so that we can kind of like keep moving forward with more of a mystery element to it, and making the big bad more of like a stepping stone. I thought was a really smart decision. And based on what I've seen with the first part of season 2, I guess they're going to magic school, so there's going to be lots of in-depth information about the magic systems and all the different styles of magic types based around all the other empires and everything like that. I'm kind of interested in that. And for all those degenerates out there, there will probably be tons of fan service. I mean, there was a lot in first season. This one's now at a school, so do that with what you will. But let's continue with the next one that I'm really excited about, which is Magie Lumiere, Magical Girl, season 2. I really liked the first season. I thought JC staff did a great job with it. The animation was pretty spot on and very reminiscent of the manga that it's based off of, which I really enjoy and read. And I just like the idea of taking magical girls and changing them into a system that you would normally not see, like subverting your expectations and other things like that, and having them be part of this corporatized world that we're living in, that every corporation has their own magical girls that are fighting these monsters and they're competing with each other, trying to undercut each other. And it's just an interesting way of having a more mature audience, because like usually with magical girls, it's for younger audiences. This is like everyone is a corporate worker, everyone is trying to find a job. It appeals more to the older generation that has grown up with the original Sailor Moons and other things like that. So I'm excited to see what they do with season 2, because the first season really drew me, and based on what I'm seeing with where the story's going in season 2, I think it's going to really tighten up a lot of the issues that certain people had with the first season and be more concise on what it's trying to do. So I'm all for it. I'm really excited for it. Big warning though, it is on Amazon only, and they have really terrible subtitles. So be prepared for that. But yeah, let's get into something more positive, which is The Elusive Samurai Season 2. I really like the first one. Anything Cloverwork does, they do an amazing job with their animation. It always looks beautiful, like a painting that's put a lot of work into it. And the story that I really love is historical dramas, and following this cast of crew that we set up with the first season, and the brutal reality of the world they're dealing with, and the balance of cutesy and fun, adorable moments is such an interesting juxtaposition. And definitely based on where the story is going, it's going to get way darker and more intense, and I'm all for that. I know a lot of people are going to be turned off by the serious nature at certain points, but I think that the balance of cutesiness helps to alleviate from the brutal, uncomfortable violence of the world that these characters are dealing with. And with Cloverworks' beautiful animation, great music design, I think it is one you have to watch. But since we're talking about historical dramas, I want to talk about a few new ones that are coming out that I really enjoyed. World is Dancing, which is exclusive to High Dive. Always shouting out High Dive, they're amazing. This is incredible. Like, it's another historical drama dealing with the world of dancing. I know that's the name, but like just the art of dance that is used as political feathers for powerful nobles and other things like that to compete and to show off their wealth and power. It's such an interesting idea, and I just love the design and the colors. The way that the dancing moves is very reminiscent of The Elusive Samurai, with that it's like painting a picture. And Sipic, which is I think the studio that does it, they do a great job with it. I also love them balancing out with intense dark moments that history will try to hide away from. I think they do a wonderful job with this, making interesting characters that you want to root for and understand that the time period they're at is not always going to show things in a beautiful light, but using beautiful animation and colors and other things like that to still have us follow the story is really smart. And since we're still talking about historical dramas, I mean, there's 3 this season that I'm really excited about, but the last one that I'm really excited about, which is done by Science Saru, is Jagara, A Witch in Mongolia. This blew me away. I got to see this at Anime Expo, the first 2 episodes, and it's beautiful. It's literally like a children's story with its illustrations come to life. And it doesn't shy away. This is set in the 13th century in Iran and Mongolia, and it shows things as they were at the time period, which had lots of slavery, brutal campaigns, and burning of cities. It was a very difficult time to live in. But what I love about this show is it shows the beauty in it, the characters that you want to follow and root for, and the seriousness of what they're going through. It's so powerful. It's funny. It has gorgeous music that's very unique to anime. I have not heard a score like this ever. It's unique. It's definitely, if you are a big film composer type and you want to listen to a lot of unique scores, this is one that you have to keep an eye out. The main character is beautiful and flawed and has moments that you are frustrated by, but at the same time you understand what she's going through as a young girl in this brutal time period, being sold as a slave and the watching horrible things happen and having no power to stop it. And be prepared for the second episode. It literally made me and everyone in my audience cry. So it's definitely going to hit you in the feels. But since we're on Science Saru, the next thing I want to talk about is Ghost in the Shell. Science Saru is doing a new version of it, which is more faithful to the original manga, and it's spectacular. It is going for a different tone. It still has all those philosophical questions. It still deals with the moral grayness of what corporations will do in the future, neural nets, AI, robotics, and all that stuff. But it brings in the humor and the humanity that the original manga was talking about, with great characters that are funny and down the earth at times. They have emotions. They're not just like sterile soldiers, which I love the original movie. I love all the movies that they did, the animated series that they done, which are much more darker in tone, not just in tone, but in colors and design and everything like that. This feels very bombastic with lots of bright colors, lots of different styles to it. It's very gory still. It still deals with the moral gray, but it makes the Major into a much more likable character that you want to follow. She has personality. She's not just like this thing that is like, I am the soldier that must do this stuff. She cares about the people she works with. She butts heads with them. She makes fun of them. She dislikes the government and doesn't trust them, but she has to work with them, and you see all those moments that work, and it's just great. I can't recommend it enough. Again, it will be on Amazon, so be prepared for the closed captioning subtitles, but still worth a watch. Science Saru, they do a phenomenal job. It's so interesting to see Jagara and Ghost in the Shell and just see like the different styles of animations they'll be using. But let's continue with the next stuff that I'm really excited about for the sequels. And Mahosha Tenshin Jobless Reincarnation Season 3. I know everyone has an opinion on this anime and the manga. And what I would say is this. I like that the characters are flawed. I like watching characters grow from their past selves to a new version of themselves. And you cannot deny that in this anime, which is a harem anime, that they don't show that we see these characters grow, that they care about their families and their friends, and they're dealing with the dark reality of this world they're living in, which has such an interesting magical system, which is why I was very into Clevitus. But like this one's magic system is really like detailed and put forward, and I just love all the characters that are developed with it. I love the music, which feels very reminiscent of a classic fantasy, and I'm a big fan of Rudius. I think that he is a flawed character, and I'm all for that. We can't just always have squeaky clean characters. And you can say what you will, but I still will stand this anime. I really enjoy it, even during its most uncomfortable parts. But for the last thing that I'm really excited about, that is the sequel, Bleach is getting its treatment. Bleach, 1,000 Years, Blood War, The Calamity. My God, Bleach fans must be eating great. The animation in this is gorgeous. I just love the design that they're going for, the continuation of a story that a lot of people felt underwhelmed by, and now trying to rewrite those things. Even if you're not a huge Bleach fan, the action sequences are great. The designs of a lot of the characters are unique and interesting that you want to follow. And I can't recommend it enough. If I'm not even the biggest Bleach fan, but I still had a great time watching the movie and getting caught up with it. So definitely recommend it, but let's get into some of those originals that I'm really excited about. And the weird one of the summer season, Chain Smoking Cat, done by Bing Bang Animation. My Lord, when I first saw this trailer, it blew me away. It is the craziest trailer I saw, and I saw another one that was pretty wacky, but this is for this season, so when the next season comes out, when that one comes out, I will talk about that one. But memes, references to movies, cat girls doing heroin, chain smoking, wild positioning. It is magical. I've seen some of it, and it is just bonkers and crazy. I know they're doing an unrated version. So for those that are degenerate and want to really push the boundaries of what they want to see, go check it out. It is definitely worth it. But like, I just love the animation stylings, the music. It just has a unique flair to it. And that's kind of like what I root for. I want unique flares. And now, since we're talking about cats, let's talk about one that feels very wholesome and cute and adorable. Let's move away from the heroin-dealing cat girls and talk about The Cat and the Dragon by OLM Studio. Now, I didn't know much about this. I know it's about a dragon being raised by magical cats, and I was like, cool, sounds cool. And it was great. Its animation is not top tier, but it feels very homey. It feels very emotional at certain points. It's cute. I just love magic cats. I'm not a big cat fan, but to see cats doing magic and talking to a dragon who then can transform into a cat dragon, and there's demon cats and so much cats. So if you're a big cat fan, this is up to you. This is up to your standards, most likely, and it's cute. I'm really interested in the way that they're going to be telling the stories, because based on what I've seen with the episodes, they're kind of like vignettes following certain characters and other things like that, which I think is a unique idea that definitely should be pushed forward. But since we're talking more about things that I'm really excited about, I mean, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You is my type of romance. I love realistic, grounded romance with characters that are believable, that I would see in the modern time that I'm living in. People awkward or just trying to get by on their daily life and meeting and having these small connections. It just works for me. That's why I like The Dangers of the Heart. And yes, I know, and this is going to be a great segue into another anime that's coming out that is cute, but not up to my standards. The 100 Girlfriends Really, Really, Really Love You. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a great anime for those that like slapstick and silly and over the top. I mean, it's done really well. It just doesn't go up to my standards. I know a lot of people will bring this one up and say, oh my God, you have to watch it. It's so great. And it's like Rent-A-Girlfriend. I'm like, I'm not a big Rent-A-Girlfriend fan, but same with this one. Smoking Behind the Market with You, that is definitely my standard, and I really do love what they're doing. Asha Productions does a phenomenal job, and since we just brought them up. Let's talk about the next anime that they are doing this season, doing two, that I really enjoy, which is Dara-san of Riwa, which could have just been a really interesting sort of like spirit comes into our reality and meets these two siblings and kind of like interferes with their life and everything like that. And they were like, no, we're going to make it into a slapstick comedy where these two siblings aren't afraid of this demonic spirit. And the spirit then has an existential crisis of what their life should be like. And it looks very funny. I really liked the first episode, and it really got me with the characters. They feel not believable, but perfect for a over-the-top slapstick comedy. And I do like a lot of the animation stylings that they use and different choices. But since let's move away from slapstick and go into more serious balance, and I Want to Love You to My Dying Day by Roll 2. I love this manga. It's a great Yuri manga. It deals with intense subject matter. It is not for the faint of heart. It is brutal. There are little kids dying, getting stabbed, exploded. You are going to have heartbreaking moments throughout. And I don't know why I am so invested in this romance between these two characters and just like what this dark world has put on them and the pressures. The animation looks great. I really love the coloring, but the shadow work and the lighting is very eye-popping and it grabbed me. And the music is really good, and the story I think goes to like interesting areas and directions. So I definitely recommend this. Since we're talking about girls in school, let's move on to Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. I love Rock as a Lady of Modesty. I like seeing prim and proper ladies doing things the society deems they shouldn't be doing, and watching high school, middle school girls playing Street Fighter and getting all riled up and like, whoa, like shouting and like sweat blistering off their faces. It just drew me in. And this show has so much great detail. Like, it does not just say, oh, we're talking about fighting games. It goes into great depth into fighting games, like what characters are the smart decision to use, like what fighting techniques to use, button mashing, other stuff like that. And I got to give it to them. They do a great job. And I'm really excited to see what they do with this series, because the manga is really good and I hope it does well and they continues for another season. But I definitely recommend this one, especially for those that really like Rock as a Lady's Modesty. But we're almost to the end. One that I'm wanting to also talk about that really blew me away, which was Goodbye Laura, which is done by Cinema Citrus. It's gorgeous. I love taking the Little Mermaid storyline and bringing it into a more interesting direction, using modern Japan as a backdrop for this character that has gone through so much trauma in the first episode to kind of go to this like homey school life as she makes friends and romances. And it's beautifully animated. The backgrounds are gorgeous, which are hand drawn and hand animated, which is very rare to see nowadays in anime. The character designs feel very reminiscent of old 90s anime with their eyes, their facial features, the design of the faces. And I'm really interested in where the story is going to go. It's very rare to see an original story, an original anime that isn't based on an IP or a manga. So definitely recommend this. I know some people want me to talk about Black Torch. Yes, it's a new shonen. It looks interesting. I saw the first episode. It was okay. It didn't really draw me in, but I know there's a lot of people that would want to talk about it. I want to see more of it later down the line, but it just feels very generic to me at this point. I'm actually more interested in Tomb Raider King by Studio Eek. Now this looks really badass. There's great character design. I love the action that they do, the world that they set up. Like, this is the kind of thing I want. Yes, it might be very reminiscent of a lot of manguas that, you know, have the very archetypical characters and everything like that. But I don't know, the first episode really drew me in. I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting. Oh, it's pretty badass. But it might fall down like God of High School or any of those other ones like Tower of God. But it might still be pretty interesting. So definitely going to check it out. But the last thing I want to talk about is Spark of Tomorrow, which is done by Kyoto Animation. Anything they do, just like Cloverworks, just like Bones, any of the big top ranking animation studios, I always give a chance. And this one really drew me in with its story, which is an alternate timeline in the 20th century, dealing with steam power, steampunk, all that stuff. And the characters were what drew me in too. These characters that have a lot of loss and kind of trying to rebuild their lives, and they connect with each other and finding common ground and trying to grow in this world to a brighter future. It just drew me in, and the animation looks great, just like they do. The music is unique, which is rare to say, because a lot of anime soundtracks sound very similar to one another. They don't really try to push it. With this, they're really going for different tones and ideas. And yeah, it's the one I want to end on my video on. But tell me what you think. Leave a like, a comment, a follow. Any anime that I should definitely check out this summer season that I didn't mention. Anything that you don't think, like any of the anime that I talked about that you don't think you're going to like, I want to hear your opinion on. I don't know what else to say, but thanks for following me. Thanks for doing all that stuff. And I'll see you for the next one. Film Dude out. Peace.